It is now 2 minutes past the top of the hour. President Trump and Russian President Vladimir Putin will meet Friday in Alaska to hammer out a ceasefire deal between Russia and Ukraine. President Trump has warned Russia several times to stop the fighting, but so far every deadline has been ignored. So, what are the chances a deal will be struck? To answer that, we welcome Alain Sanders, former Time Magazine senior reporter and professor of political science at St. Peter's University, back here on the LiveZone. Alain, always good to see you, sir. Welcome back to the show.
Thank you, Guy. Always a pleasure to be with you.
Mr. Sanders, obviously, we saw the president speak from the Kennedy Center just minutes ago, during which he took questions. One of the questions posed to the president happened to be, what happens when you sit down to meet with Vladimir Putin? If an agreement is not reached, that question was posed, will the Russians actually see a response? The president said yes. The question was then posed, what will that response be? The president then stated, that's for me to know. I'm curious, what exactly needs to happen in order for this meeting to be a success?
Well, it's anyone's guess. It's supposed to be a listening exercise, according to the White House. So presumably, Trump will listen to Putin and Putin will listen to Trump. What's clear is that the Europeans are concerned, as is Mr. Zelensky. They had a virtual meeting together with President Trump just a few hours ago or moments ago. And what emerged from that Zoom meeting is that the Europeans say what should be done first is a ceasefire. And Mr. Trump has said, yes, he wants to push for a ceasefire when he meets with Mr. Putin. But there are other conditions that the Europeans want to be sure, and that is that Ukraine must be at the table when anything is actually negotiated. And they also want some security guarantees for Ukraine because they're also afraid for their own security. So they believe first Ukraine needs to be secure. And then, of course, they'll figure out what they want in terms of their security interests. So the most that can be expected, according to the statements from everyone, is that Trump and Putin will work out a framework for a ceasefire. What that framework will be, we don't know. And of course, Ukraine will have to agree to whatever the framework and the conditions and the stipulations are of that ceasefire. So let's see if there is a push for a ceasefire and whether that actually gains any kind of traction.
Yeah, well, speaking of traction, we know that the president actually showing up, if you will, has gained a lot of traction throughout the media worldwide. I guess my question to you is, why do you think the president needs to, in essence, meet face-to-face with Putin in order for this deal to be struck?
Well, it's a good question because if it's a listening exercise, that's what ambassadors are supposed to do. Ambassadors listen, they share information with other countries, and then they report back to the Secretary of State and to the President. So one has to wonder, what is a listening exercise for two leaders? Typically, those exercises are done below, and when they meet, they actually reach an agreement. The other element is that Trump is really an ego-driven person. He believes that he is capable of doing almost anything. He has a huge ego. He believes that he can do what other people cannot do. And so he does believe in face-to-face conversations because he thinks he can achieve things that other people can't. Of course, I'll leave it up to your viewers to figure out whether these face-to-face negotiations have yielded anything. I draw your attention back to the North Korean face-to-face meeting between President Trump and the North Korean leader. Nothing seems to have emerged of substance from those meetings.
Very good. Mr. Sanders, we know of a thing called trust. Perhaps a lot of us, we hope that you can trust someone when it comes to developing a relationship. We trusted you to be here on time, and I got to tell you, boy, were you so much ahead of time. We trust you, sir. I'm getting to the fact that, can Putin be trusted with regard to whatever he says to President Trump, whereas we have seen in the past that, well, some of the things that he stated that could very well happen did not happen?
Right. Well, the Europeans certainly don't believe that Putin can be trusted just on his word. They really want some security guarantees for Ukraine. Also, it should be noted that the French and the British have been in discussions to determine whether they want their nuclear umbrella, because they do have nuclear weapons, whether they want their common nuclear umbrella to be extended to other European countries. So clearly, the French and the British don't trust Putin. They believe that deterrence, backed by military might, is the way to convince Putin to any kind of a deal. And so, just take a look at the Europeans and their approach to whether Mr. Putin can be trusted.
All right, we'll end with this, Mr. Sanders, and that is, well, happens to be another president involved. Oh, yeah, Zelensky. But apparently he has not been invited. Is that a mistake?
Yes, absolutely. And that's why there was this call, this virtual call today between European leaders, Mr. Zelensky and Mr. Trump. They wanted to make clear that Zelensky has to be included in negotiations. Zelensky himself wanted to make clear, and that's why they had this pre-meeting call with Mr. Trump to indicate that anything that's decided regarding Ukraine and the war between Ukraine and Russia has to involve Ukraine.
Yet again, Alain Sanders, former Time Magazine senior reporter and professor of political science at St. Peter's University, one of the best to ever do it, joining us right here on the Live Zone. Truly appreciate your time, sir.
My pleasure, Guy. Take care.
Very good. All right, guys, we'll take a quick break. Our Wednesday Talkers coming up next, right here on the Live Zone.